There comes a moment, a breaking point, where you're simply done. You're drained. Not just tired in the way you feel after a long day, but soul tired. Exhausted from overthinking every interaction. Tired of always being the one who cares more, chases harder, gives everything, and still ends up feeling invisible. And then, in the quiet space of that exhaustion, something inside you clicks. It's subtle, but powerful. You stop reacting, you stop obsessing, you stop hoping for change. And strangely enough, it's in that very moment when you finally let go that everything begins to shift. You're not angry, you're not bitter, you've just had enough. And your silence, it speaks volumes. People notice, she notices. Not because you've made a scene or delivered a dramatic speech, but because you've stopped playing the role you were never meant to play. And ironically, this is when you become the most magnetic, the most powerful, because you're no longer trying to be. Let's talk about what really happens when you stop caring, genuinely, fully, and why it might be the most powerful decision you ever make. Number 1, you reclaim your identity. When you're wrapped up in someone else's attention, validation, and moods, you lose yourself in the process. You start living reactively. You wake up thinking about how she'll respond, what she's doing, who she's with. Every little detail becomes a signal to decode, a puzzle to solve, and before you know it, you're not living for yourself anymore. You're living for her responses. You send a message and your whole mood hinges on when or if she replies. You post something and check obsessively to see if she's seen it. You filter your words, adjust your behavior, try to strike the perfect balance between interested and not too interested, just to keep her attention. But once you stop caring, all that mental gymnastics stops. Your time and energy return to you. You don't sit around refreshing your phone. You don't wait to be validated by a text. Instead, you start showing up for yourself again. And here's the kicker. When you do that, when you genuinely detach, she notices. Not because you tried to get a reaction, but because you didn't. Number 2, mental chaos turns into clarity. Overcaring makes your mind a war zone. Every conversation becomes an analysis. Every pause is suspicious. Every change in tone is a crisis. You lie in bed replaying old messages, wondering if you said too much, too little, or the wrong thing altogether. You can't focus, you can't rest, you can't breathe. But the day you stop caring, the day you finally accept that you're done chasing a ghost, everything gets quieter. The mental fog lifts. You stop trying to decode every emoji or make sense of why she pulled away. You stop watching her stories like they're clues in some emotional mystery novel. And suddenly, you have room to think. Real clarity replaces the noise. You remember who you are, what you like, what you want. You reconnect with yourself. You rediscover your peace. That silence in your head. That's what freedom sounds like. And you earned it the moment you stopped making her the center of your world. Number 3, you shift from reaction to intention. When you care too much, you live in response to someone else. She replies late, you panic. She gets distant, you chase. She seems off, you bend over backwards to fix it. And the truth is, that's a powerless way to live. But when you finally stop caring, not in a spiteful way, but in a self-respecting way, you stop living in reaction. You stop overgiving. You stop stretching yourself thin to keep someone who doesn't value you. Instead, you start matching energy. You move with intention, not desperation. She texts late. You respond when it works for you. She pulls away. You don't chase. You observe. You don't take everything personally. You respond with calm, not chaos. You become steady, grounded, and that changes everything. She starts feeling the difference, not because you said anything, but because your energy doesn't beg, it chooses. And people, especially the ones who took your presence for granted, feel that shift like a thunderclap. Number 4, mystery returns to your presence. Let's face it, when you care too much, you become an open book, always available, always explaining, always reaching out first. You lose your edge, your unpredictability, your mystery. And mystery, like it or not, is magnetic. But when you stop caring, not faking it, but truly letting go, you regain that edge. You stop explaining every move. You stop checking in constantly. You stop being so easy to figure out. And suddenly, she's not sure what you're thinking anymore. She's not sure what you're doing. You're not in her inbox like before. You're not reacting to her stories, not chasing after her affection. And that uncertainty, it gets to her. Now she's wondering, is he over me? Is he seeing someone else? Did I lose him? You've gone from predictable to intriguing, and all you did was stop trying. Number 5. Self-respect becomes your foundation. Let's be brutally honest. When you give too much to someone who gives back too little, your self-worth takes a hit. You begin to question your value. You start to think, maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I need to try harder, be better, say less, say more, anything to hold on. But once you stop caring, really stop, you stop betraying yourself to be accepted. You stop begging for crumbs. You stop bending your standards and ignoring your needs just to be tolerated. Instead, you start standing on your own 2 feet. You realize you don't have to prove your worth to anyone. You just have to remember it. And that shift, it's magnetic. It's powerful because now you're moving with a sense of self that doesn't require outside approval. You're not looking to be chosen. You're already complete. And that confidence, it's louder than any words, any text, any gesture. Number 6. Powerlessness turns into power. You know what really breaks you? It's not rejection. It's not even heartbreak. It's the slow-burning powerlessness of caring deeply for someone who doesn't see you, doesn't hear you, doesn't choose you. You try, you reach out, you wait, and they drift further anyway. But the moment you stop caring, that's the moment everything flips. You stop giving your power away. You stop handing over your energy, your time, your sanity. You stop waiting to be chosen, and you start choosing yourself. You build your own life, you heal, you grow, and you stop needing their attention to feel whole. That power, it's not about getting them back, it's about getting you back. And once you've tasted that, once you realize how strong you actually are without them, there's no going back. So if you're in that place right now, tired, drained, quietly breaking down inside, this is your sign to stop chasing, stop explaining, and stop overthinking. Not because you stopped caring, but because you finally started caring about yourself. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to do nothing at all. No more pleading texts, no more late night anxiety, no more wondering if you're enough for someone who never even tried to understand your heart. Let them wonder, let them feel the weight of your silence, because your peace is no longer up for negotiation, and your time is no longer available for people who can't even show up with respect. You owe it to yourself to walk away, not to hurt them, but to save you. And when you do, that's when everything begins to shift. Your energy, your mindset, your future, because healing begins the moment you stop arguing for your worth. Let your absence teach them what your presence never could, and let your peace speak louder than any text ever would. If this message hit home, make sure you're subscribed. We've got more content that dives even deeper into this journey. And until next time, protect your energy, guard your heart, and never beg to be chosen. You were enough all along. Now act like it.